This is your life on the way to London's Talk of the Town night spot, on the trail of a cabaret star who has topped the bill here no fewer than 3 times in the past 18 months. She's been called Britain's Miss Show Business. She's been named Cabaret Performer of the Year by the Variety Club. And right now, inside here, she's about to pick up another award, Champagne Star, which is very appropriate indeed, because right now, the career of this girl who began her career in a chorus line in Las Vegas is very much on the bubble. And I'm an unexpected guest as far as she's concerned. So let's get up here quickly before it's all. I can see her, and you know instantly who she is as soon as I get there. That's not us, that's something else, that's the award. Not just yet, let me add one more toast. Mike knows I'm giving you a champagne toast tonight because Anita Harris, cabaret star, this is your life.
About this way, Anita, and again. Anita with the face.
That's your beautiful kind.
Anita, I haven't seen a straight left so fast as that one since Muhammad Ali.
Has makeup done a good job? Oh, golly.
I must say thanks again to your husband right beside you, writer-producer Mike Margolis, and to this talented team and beautiful team of yours here. Thank you to all.
They lovely, the girls.
And right away, Anita, let's take a look at that award-winning cabaret performance. Here you are, in action at Talk of the Town, as you will be again around midnight tonight.
Sir, give your attention to I really have to mention the moment in her presence, and you know you can't forget the rest. Do we really have to mention that tonight she's second best? Singular sensation, really combination. She's
Anita, starring in cabaret has meant that you've had to miss being in pantomime this year and miss seeing so many of your dearest panto pals. But if you watch that screen, we'll remedy that right away with a panto parade coming up specially for you. First, Baron Hard up at Cardiff, Tommy Trinder.
Hello, Ivan. Hello, Anita. I've seen you dance in Las Vegas. I've seen you in an ice show. I've seen you in cabaret. In fact, there's nothing you can't do, and it is dedication. And the biggest accolade I can give you, darling, is you are a professional.
Here, Tommy. And from Bournemouth in Cinderella, Roy Hudd and Clive Dunn.
Happy memories, eh, of working together in Bournemouth, playing at the Winter Gardens, but not a word to Mike. And to the lady who was the most smashing thinger, Burlington Bertie, on the Royal Variety Show this year, we wish you a happy evening, don't we, Governor?
We do indeed, sir.
Come on, back to work.
Right,
You're the back half, you know that, don't you?
Widow 20 in South Sea, Dora Bryan.
Anita, hello, Eamon. Oh, what a wonderful night for you. Well, have a lovely time this evening, Anita, and all the very best. You deserve the best because you are the best.
She does. Buttons at Cardiff, Leslie Crowther.
congratulations to you and many, many thanks to you and Mike for all the good works you do for Stars Organisation for Spastics. Okay?
Widow Twankey at Nottingham, Billy Dainty.
Anita, have a wonderful night. We couldn't happen to a lovelier person than you. Big kiss from Mike. Read all the press reports about your camera, and it's been marvellous to read.
And just before he gets into his frock, one more Widow Twankey from Birmingham, Danny LaRue.
Hello, Eamon. Hello, Anita. Mike. It's wonderful being with you tonight, if not in person. I'm twanking it up here in Birmingham and enjoying it very much. I wish you a wonderful evening. I wish you a wonderful 82. When I saw it at the talk of the town, for the first time, I thought, here at last, we've got a great British female cabaret star. You've developed from not just being a great singer, but a great entertainer. That's the word, entertainer. I love you very much. God bless you. Bye.
Thank you, Danny. Thank you, all you stars of pantomime. But not quite all, Anita, from Panto, because who better to represent all those stars than the star of your own very first pantomime nearly 20 years ago. Great friend of yours, music hall legend turned actor, Jimmy Jewell. Jimmy, I know that apart from anything else, how delighted you were recently when Anita made an appearance at a special concert you'd organised.
Well, Royce talked about the Royal Command performance, but I was, in a small way, enabled to put on the Royal performance that opened the Grand Theatre Blackpool after it had been closed for 12 years. We had Prince Charles there, and one of the successes of the night was when Anita looked up at him at the box in her Burlington Bertie number and said, "I've just had a banana with Lady Diana."
Thank you, Jimmy Jewell. Well, thanks to Mike here, and a sentimental piece of film he took and kept, we can take a look at you, Anita, in the title role of Cinderella at Coventry back in 1968, involved in a bit of bother with buttons.
I'm frozen. Only one way to break the freeze. No, but can you go down there and then she's got nothing to do with it. Sorry, I have to do nothing. Come along, Cinderella.
So Anita Buttons finally got that kiss.
Yes, and I hope I get another one tonight.
Yes, that marvellous comedian, Jimmy Tarbuck. Well, it looks like a lot of fun when he's not golfing, working with Anita.
Yes, it's terrific working with her, Eamon. She's as nice a person off the stage as she is on. She's a great girl. But in that pantomime, one afternoon I was working with her, and someone said to me, there's a visiting from an old ladies' home, and there was a lady who got left on the altar, and she likes only to go out in her wedding dress. And like Anita didn't know, so I came on to do the love song with her, like Buttons and Cinderella. And so she went, "Oh, you know how nice she is. Oh, Buttons, here we are. And I'm not going to the ball." I said, "Yeah, have a kick at the woman on the front row in the white wedding frock." So she started looking at this poor lady and started laughing. Well, in the end, the two of us were crying, and the MD, the musical, jumped up, tapped the stage, he said, "Stop it! Stop it," he said, "you'll ruin the plot," which sent me into hysterics. And, well, every night we ended up doing the love song together, back to back. I couldn't have a look at her. Yes, I mean, it was just like that. But, I mean, it's just lovely being on This Is Your Life for you.
Thank
really
you, Jimmy Tarbuck. Well, Anita Harris, This Is Your Life, and just about the time you were due to make your very first appearance, wartime German bombers launched a heavy blitz on the seaport of Bristol, and your family's hometown of nearby Bath also took a punishing battering.
And that's how Anita became a wartime evacuee, even before she was born.
Of course, your mother Marion, and with her your dad Eric. And also here with his daughters Samantha and Debbie, your elder brother Philip. Marion, Anita became a wartime evacuee before she was born because, in a sense, you were lucky.
I was very lucky. We managed to find a place to stay close to a midwife in the lovely village of Midsummer Norton, and a long way from the bombing.
And Eric, that must have been a great relief to you too.
Well, I was very grateful, Eamon.
Well, in fact, Anita, the lady who took your mother in was there at your birth.
Yes, Anita. I heard the very first high notes you ever attempted.
You were actually born in her bed, Nellie Gregory. Nellie, you kept in touch with that little baby until she was 5 years old and went to live in Bournemouth. Have you seen her since?
Yes, 2 years ago, she came to Bath Theatre in a pantomime. She introduced the family to the audience, and we went backstage and had a lovely time with her.
And that must have particularly pleased your son.
Yes.
Why?
Because they were both born.
He was always telling people what?
Ah, he was born in the same bed as Anita.
That's right, and he's here too tonight, Nellie's son, Peter. Thank you, Peter and Nellie Gregory. Well, now, Anita, here you are, a healthy 6 months old, and Philip, she was only 2.5 years older than that when she showed her taste for the stage.
That's right, Eamon. She used to go to these Saturday morning cinemas, and she went on stage and sang the Doris Day songs, you know, of the day.
Even at 3, yeah.
Yes.
Well, it's a busy childhood for you, Anita. You have dancing lessons, learn to play the piano, and excel at skating. School is at the Convent of the Cross in Bournemouth, where you spent 7 happy years. Mind you, you did try to dodge 1 or 2 little duties, like having to attend benediction at the end of the week, 4:30 Friday afternoons. You'd rather be heading for the ice rink. But the whole school had to attend, and teachers went seeking out any dodgers.
But when they came looking for us, Anita, you were a step ahead of the teacher.
In fact, it was the only time you ever put yourself on a pedestal.
Best friends at school, Wendy Neame and Mavis Linter. Wendy, tell me, what was Anita's strategy?
Well, Eamon, it was Anita's idea that we should all hide in the in the cubicles of the loo, because it was vital for our plan that our feet didn't show.
You see, she realised that the teachers who came to do the search used to look under the gap at the bottom of the door to see if they could see any feet. But they never did see our feet, Anita, did they? Because we were sitting on the loos.
Standing on the loo, I hope.
3 degrees.
Thank you, Mavis Linter and Wendy Neame. By the time you're 15, Anita, you're showing such a great talent for ice skating. You're invited to the famous Queen's Club in London for full-time training with a view to competing in international championships. And you're partnered here with someone who, in fact, went on to become 4 times world ice dance champion, Courtney Jones. Courtney, you had the greatest respect for Anita on ice.
I did indeed, yes. There's no doubt she'd have been a champion if she hadn't had her heart set on a show business career. That's for sure.
Isn't he handsome?
Thank you, Courtney Jones. And yes. While you're at Queen's Ice Rink, with your talent scout spots you and offers you an audition with the famous Paris-based dancing troupe, the Charlie Ballet. You travel to Paris, where to your joy and astonishment, you're offered a 6-month contract to fly out to Las Vegas. But you're only 16, and telephone your mother and father to ask if you can go. Marion, your reaction?
I was speechless, wasn't I? Right. And we said, no way.
No way.
She'd just been to a convent, and we said, no way, she's going to Las Vegas. But we gave in.
I'll tell you why, because Anita, at your parents' home was someone on a visit from abroad. These days his home is in Canada, but as you know, he's still globe-trotting, and if you look at that screen, you'll see we caught up with him a long, long way from his Toronto home. In fact, on a business trip to New Zealand, and it's from Cambridge, North Island. He recalls his part in the biggest decision of your life, your brother David.
Oh, hi, Anita. It's great to be with you tonight, all the way from New Zealand. You know, I know you're just as surprised tonight as Mum and Dad were when you called from Paris, asking them if you could take off to Las Vegas to join a chorus line. Well, you know, we've grown up together, and I knew how much going into show business meant to you. And now to see all this happen is just one of the most wonderful things that we can enjoy with you. But I came back from Switzerland, remember, to talk with Mum and Dad and plead with them so that you could go off to Las Vegas. Well, we called you back with their blessings in Paris, and there you took the plane to that wonderful trip over to Las Vegas. And look at it, everything's come true, and you're right at the top of the bill, and we're sharing it all with you tonight. And what's more, there are lots of other people too that want to share it with you. And I know that there's somebody else in Canada who wants to be here with you tonight as well. But more for that later. I want to say love to everyone. Hari Ra from New Zealand, and back to Eamon in London.
Thank you, David Harris. And that certain someone that David mentioned there, Anita, that certain someone once delivered a special message from you to your mum and dad.
Remember, Anita? You asked me to tell them not to worry. You were doing just fine.
We've flown her from her home in Hamilton, Ontario, Mike's mother, Rose. Rose, Anita was just starting her career then, of course, and you were able to give them, her parents, that message when you visited them in Bournemouth some 18 years ago?
I was able to tell them that she's fine and that she's mixing with a very, very nice crowd, namely my son Mike.
Namely your son Mike. Thank you, Rose Kenberg. Well, now, of course, Anita, you first met Mike just after that booking with the Charlie Ballet in Las Vegas. And right now, I'd like to remind you of someone you were so friendly with there. There you are in the chorus line at El Rancho, Las Vegas. And tell me, who is the pretty chorus girl one up from you in the line? Keep looking. Yes.
Oh, look, darling, it's me.
From Panto at Pool in Dorset, I should say, Amy MacDonald.
Hello, Nitty. Hello, Eamon. Do you remember we had what we called the Charlie Ballet bus, which was this enormous big car that we kind of shared? And one day, you decided to take quite a few of us to see the sights with you behind the wheel, which was lovely, darling. The only trouble was you didn't tell us that you didn't have a license. And then, if you remember, right in the middle of downtown Las Vegas, we decided to have a flat tire. And you got in a terrible tizwas because this enormous big policeman started lumbering over to us. But after a little sweet talking from you, my darling, he forgot to book you and ended up changing your tire. With talent like that, my darling, you certainly would go places, and you certainly have. And I'm so happy for you. So, darling, have a super time tonight. You really deserve it. But before I go, I'd just like to remind you of one of our old exits, okay? Don't go away. Allô, allô, ici la nouvelle ère. Allô, allô, et c'est refrain nouveau. Okay? Bye-bye.
Thank you, Amy MacDonald. Back in London, Anita, you auditioned for a record Mike was producing, and 2 weeks later, that led to a question, right, Mike?
Yes, I proposed, Eamon, and he wasn't too keen on the idea.
But, Anita, you changed your mind sometime later, didn't you?
Quite a while later, yes.
Tell us how.
Where
were you?
15 years. Well, I went to Spain, and I quite liked Spain, but I missed him. So I was there for about a month, and I proposed, didn't I?
You said yes, and I said, yes, what?
Let's do it.
And we also got married.
Well, in fact, you were married in Bournemouth here on May the 7th, 1973. And Anita, someone else looking for singing talent also listens to your voice and invites you to join his potent mixture of voices in harmony. 23 years, the longest-running live program on British radio, a Sunday tradition, Cliff Adams. Cliff, Anita was with you about 3 years, wasn't she?
Yes, she was. In fact, I clearly remember auditioning her for what was to be her very first professional singing engagement.
Absolutely.
This very young but very beautiful young lady walked into my office and announced that she was going to sing I Enjoy Being a Girl, remember? But you clearly did.
Yes.
But seriously, it wasn't very hard to see the potential.
Thank you, Cliff Adams. Well, you decide the time is right to set out on a solo career, and one of your first regular bookings is a spot on one of Britain's most popular television programs, hosted by someone whose professionalism I know you admire, which is why I know you won't mind when he asks you a question.
May I please come in?
One of the most famous voices in broadcasting, you were the regular singer on his show on the Braden Beat, of course, Bernard Braden.
She's too tall. You're growing too.
I know. Bernie, what's the special significance of that song title?
Well, it was a song that I persuaded Anita to do against her better judgment, and she was probably right.
No, I was only singing it yesterday.
Were you? Oh, that's good to hear. I think the only thing I had to offer Anita at that time was a chance to stretch her talent. We live in a country where people are encouraged to do one thing and one thing only. She was, as Tommy Trinder said, a great ice skater, fabulous dancer, and we tried on our limited budget to let you do that as well as sing. And I think, considering that in 1981 she was voted Variety Artist of the Year, I can say in all modesty that without my help, you might have made it 3 or 4 years earlier.
Thank you, Bernard Braden. Well, next you have your own children's program, Anita in Jumbleland. Then it's Carry On Films, Peter Pan. You represent Britain at the San Remo Song Festival and win the gold medal. Your song, Just Loving You, still holds the record for the longest-running single in the top 20.
Spend my life just loving you.
Along that exciting road to award-winning stardom, I know there's one person in particular to whom you'll always be grateful. Mike, you know who I mean.
Yes, there have been two terrific influences on Anita's career. Bernie was one because he gave the opportunity, and then there was another person who I think Anita will agree was completely definitive in a new direction.
In fact, she was responsible for you appearing on that panto we saw with Jimmy Tarbuck and your great success as Peter Pan. You thought she was in Los Angeles tonight, but we've flown her here for you. Choreographer, director, producer, and dear friend, Pauline Grant. Pauline, you are one of the greatest behind-the-scenes names in the theatre, English National Opera, Glyndebourne, Royal Shakespeare Company. What special talents did you spot in Anita?
Well, the two words that spring immediately to my mind whenever the name of Anita Harris comes up are radiance and excitement. And the combination of those two, to me, spell magic. In fact, to sum up, Anita is a particularly beautiful professional, and I find it a very lucky chance that I can call her one of my dearest friends.
Thank you, Pauline Grant. Anita, just one more thing. Quite by chance, just before Christmas, we heard a radio broadcast You said that the most important thing in your life is your family, and what a great shame it was that your brother had to be on the other side of the world. And that's when people all over the world started pulling out stops. No, Anita, not in North Island, New Zealand, from where he greeted you, for we rushed him to a plane to fly him across the world to be here for you, your brother David. Anita Harris, award-winning cabaret star, this is your life.
Sorry about the